Subtraction principle. Subtraction principle. So to move a positive term, we do the opposite. And we're going to go ahead and subtract. And right in the rules, whatever we do to one side of the equation, then we must do the other side of the equation. So let's go ahead and look at the first example. So example 1. We're going to find the length of the first tubing if the total length of the two is 12.5 inches and the length of the second tubing is 6 inches. So we're going to use the equation below to help us solve. All right, so we have 12.5 is equal to x plus 6. So notice we have our positive term, right? And we want to get our variable by itself, right? Like that's the whole goal of these linear equations. And so what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to do the opposite of the positive term, right? We're going to go ahead and subtract on both sides. So plus 6 minus 6, that's just 0. We bring down the equal sign, x plus 0. Now we have 12.5 minus 6. Well, right, if this is 6.5, well, that would just be 6.5, right? Go 12.5 minus 6, well, that's 6.5 or 6.5. So what does x equal? Well, x is equal to 6.5, right? And that makes sense. So 6.5 plus 6 is equal to 12.5. So we know we did that correct then. So let's go ahead and look at the next example. So example 2, Cynthia is running a full marathon. In her first 2 hours, she ran 12 miles. How many miles does she have left to run? So we're going to use the equation below. So we have 26 is equal to 12 plus x. Right, so this 12, right, is positive. And so in order to get x by itself, we're going to go ahead and subtract 12 on both sides, right, of the equal sign. This gets rid of it here because that's just 0. So that means that we have the variable by itself. So that's what we wanted. So now we have 26 minus 12. Well, that would be 14. So what does x equal? Well, x equals 14. So that means Cynthia has 14 miles left to run. So let's go ahead and look at the next example. So example 3. Use the equation below to help us solve for x. So x plus 22 is equal to 45. Well, if we go ahead and rewrite this, right, we want to get x by itself. So we have this plus 22 on the side with x. So in order to get rid of it, so x is by itself, we can go ahead and subtract 22 to both sides. We bring down x. Right, we don't even need to write 0 there. We just know x is equal to, now 45 minus 22. Feel free to get the calculator out, or you can just go ahead and do it. And that's 23. So what does x equal? X is equal to 23. Right, and we can go ahead and plug that value in for x, then add 22, and make sure that is equal to 45, right? So that's how we can check our answers, right? Because 23 plus 22 equals 45. That's what we're saying if x is equal to 23. Well, 23 plus 22, that's 45, equals 45. So that checks out, right? Because 23 plus 22. If you need to do that in a calculator, or if you can just see it, you can see how it's 45.